Okay, so in my last video I had talked about what makes a verb irregular. That there's two pieces to a verb. There's the stem and there's the ending. That the stem tells us what the verb means. When you hear hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, habláis, you keep hearing habl. Anyone who is listening to me, when they hear habl, they know I'm talking about speaking. The ending lets us know who's doing the speaking. When you hear hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, when you hear that o, as, a, amos, ais, then you know who's doing the speaking, okay? So most verbs, regular verbs, are going to keep their stem so that everybody knows what's going on, who's doing the speaking, speaking, eating, living, etc. But there are verbs that are irregular, okay? And they still sound somewhat the same, but they're going to have a spelling change in their either their endings aren't going to be the ones that we expect to use, or there's going to be a spelling change in their stems. And all the ones we're talking about today have a spelling change in their stem. So the ones that I talked about before were called stem changers, and they were broken down into two groups, E to I E's, E to I's, and O to U E's. The other set of verbs that have a spelling change in their stems are some of these guys, and these guys tend to be irregular in their yo form only, and otherwise their yo form may not use the ending that we would expect, or it doesn't have or its stem has been somewhat changed, but they all are regular everywhere, but they have a change in the stem, except for I take that back. Tener, we'll put a little, I don't know, put them in purple maybe. Decir, venir, and tener are irregular in their yo forms. These are their yo forms, but they are also stem changers. So decir is an E to I stem changer. Venir is an E to IE stem changer. And tener is also an E to IE stem changer. Okay, and so this may look somewhat confusing, but if you go back to the example, here you see tener, and the yo form, it doesn't take the stem change, the E to IE stem change, but it does everywhere else that it's supposed to, and then there is no change for nosotros and vosotros. And that would be the same thing for venir. If I did venir, it's an E to IE stem changer, but it's also irregular in its yo form. So a true stem changer, so hold on. So its stems are ben and bien, okay? Let me rewrite that a little bit. And bien, okay? So a true stem changer would be using the bien for the yo form. Venir, and tener are irregular, doubly irregular. So this is actually the stem and the yo form. But then you use the changed, regular, changed. Okay? And so then you just add on your your IR endings, which are O, ES, E, IMOS. So notice that venir and tener differ when you get to the nosotros and vosotros form, because venir is an IR verb and IR endings are O, ESE, IMOS, IS, EN, and ER endings are O, ESE, EMOS, EIS, EN. Okay? And so decir does the same thing. Here's decir. It is an E to I stem changer. So its stems are supposed to be DEC, and then since it's an E to I, you could change that E to an I. And so in the yo form, I'm supposed to get that. I'm supposed to have DIC, but it actually gets a G. It's doubly irregular. Then you get DIC, DEC, DEC, and then you would get DIC as well. So it would be digo, dices, dice, decimos, decís. I'll just make this smaller so I can fit the last one on there. dicen. Okay. And then you'll just need to memorize, where'd they go? You'll just need to memorize these other ones. Hacer is regular throughout except it's hago in the yo form. For poner, it's regular throughout, but it's pongo in the yo form. Salir is regular throughout, but it's salgo in the yo form. And then you also have saber that has an se in the yo form. Estar, which is pretty much regular throughout. It has some extra accents, but it's estoy. Dar is pretty much regular throughout except it's doy. And ir is completely irregular, but ir always looks like dar, so it has AR. It shouldn't have AR endings, but it does have AR endings, but you have to remember that it is boy in the yo form. If you can remember how to do dar, just remember that ir is spelled exactly like dar, but with a V in front of it. So to give you some practice with all of these, you're working for a student health magazine, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, dormir is an O. Oh, these are just too big. Dormir is an O to UE stem changer. So that means that it stems. You can have the regular one, but you could also use, if it's an O to UE, see that O is going to change to a UE. Then poder is also an O to UE, and so you're just going to have to memorize which are what. And so its regular stem is pod, and then and then you could also though sometimes use that O change to a UE. Tener, it's irregular in the yo, so I'm going to give it a star, but it's also essentially an E to IE. Okay, and so well I'll leave that off. So then its regular stem is this, but you might sometimes use this or this one, okay? Hacer, it's just one of those GO ones, so it's gonna, this will be its stem, or sometimes it's gonna use this stem. Ir, the stem is a V, all right? And then it's gonna be AR, endings, and then and then you also have an irregular yo. I don't know. I'll just put a star by the ones that have the irregular yo. Okay, and then jugar is an U to UE, so its stem is JUG, and sometimes though you'll change that U to a UE, okay? Si yo blank mucho deporte, what would you do with sports? Probably play, which would be jugar, and if you're conjugating for yo, yo is not nosotros, so I'll put up here so you remember no, can't type. Nosotros and vosotros do not take the changed stems. Okay, so yo, however, is not nosotros or vosotros, so it would. So we're going to use the wig, and then we added O for yo. Mucho deporte, nado, blank, al tenis. Oh, you know what? I think they wanted to use hacer. Like, I do a lot of sports. So again, though, the yo takes the irregular. So it'd be yo hago mucho deporte, nado. Now I play tennis. Since it's still I is not nosotros or vosotros, so we want the changed one, and we add the O. Juego al tenis 2 veces por semana y todos los días camino media hora, pero mi alimentación no es buena. ¿Qué blank hacer? What can I do? Again, it's still for yo, so this is the one where we would want our change stem, and we just add the O on the end, okay? Okay, so here's another example. I just want to make sure I'm still recording. So here's another example where so we've got poder, hacer, saber, querer. Poder is an irregular, it's an O-T-U-E, so if it's saying, so this one's just saying a Colombian friend who's attending your college next semester asked you a few questions about the activities you can do on campus. Can you answer questions, complete your conversation with the correct form of the verbs provided? So you're saying yes. So she says, ¿es posible tener una bicicleta? You're going to say yes, you can have a bicycle. So your subject is right here. So we know we're conjugating for to. And then we have poder, which is an O-T-U-E. Remember that you do not use changed stem for nosotros or vosotros. Okay, this is not nosotros, vosotros, so we are going to use our change stem. So here's the regular stem. The change stem would be changing that O to a UE, and then I add the ending that corresponds to to, which would be an ES. And in fact, I'll just make it blue so you can see it. Puedes. Okay, y hacer deporte, like can you do sport? Sí, claro, yo play deporte aquí en el gimnasio de la universidad. I'm sorry, there's a space there. I should have called that. So again, it's I who does sports. Hacer is only irregular in the yo form. It's one that takes the G. So if we do hacer, this is its regular stem. This one gets the G, and then it's yo. So I add an O. Okay. ¿Sabes si hay una piscina en el campus? Yo no saber. This is another one that's irregular in the yo form. So my subject again is yo. And then saber, if you look out here in your book, is say in the yo form. Okay. Hay dormitorios individuales si los estudiantes pedir. The subject are the students, which is the same thing as saying they. And if it is they, that's not nosotros or vosotros, so we still use the change. So this is the regular stem. It's an E to I. I'm going to have to change this to an I. And then for los estudiantes, for they, I would make it piden. Okay? Si es seguro salir por la noche, is it safe to go out at night? The subject is going to be yo. The salir is irregular in the yo form. It gets the G. So the original stem is just a sal, but this one takes the G. And then I add the ending that corresponds with yo, which is just an O. Si tú querer tener carro cuesta, es posible tener carro. Si tú querer tener carro cuesta 150 al mes. The subject is tú. Querer is an E to IE stem changer, so the original stem would look like this. And since it's two, we're going to have to use the changed one. But this is the original stem. It's an E to IE, so I would make that E an IE. And then I add an ES for my subject.